So don't judge a book by its cover. Which brings us to this. Big and puffy and glum. Intimidating and maybe even a little repulsive. I mean, let's face it, this book is filled with stories and all this sort of a message of how sinful we are and how angry and violent God is. And it's just no fun. I mean, if we're looking for a book to give us a good time, the last place we're going to find it is the good book. That's actually one of the reasons that I left the church when I left Des Moines and went on to college. And it wasn't until I had this mystical calling experience out in the desert, calling me into ministry, and as I was preparing to go to seminary, that I got this out again and thought I better read it from cover to cover. Because I don't know, I probably should. And I figured, you know, if Jesus suffered on the cross, I could probably suffer through the Bible. So, but you know, then I met Doug Adams. Now, not the Doug Adams of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Universe. Count, just take breaths, deep breaths. It's no small coincidence, actually, that they share the same name. My Doug Adams was a theology professor at the Pacific School of Religion in Berkeley. And when he opened this thing up, he opened up Oz to me. Now, it's not just the way that he helped me see this Bible as fun. It wasn't just you know, stuff that we have fun with about the Bible, because there's so many great things we can laugh at about the Bible, like, you know, this lovely album that I Sex in the Bible by Jack Wyrtzen. We have, you know, the Believe in God Instantly lip balm. Now here's something a friend of mine gave me last night. He was so excited, he tore up his whole apartment to try and find it because he didn't know I was coming over. It's this. Now this may not look like much, right? But look what it does. It's your security whistle if you girls are being attacked. Maybe it's like, you know, dogs have a certain way. This is not what Doug Adams taught me. He taught me actually that the Bible, as entertaining as these are, the Bible is intended to be as entertaining as our crucified Jesus. I don't want a security whistle. I don't want to use the R word with that bad whistle. It just doesn't fit well. But actually what Doug Adams taught me is that these stories in here are meant to be truly entertaining. They're filled with odd and unusual characters whose actions and speech and thoughts are meant to make us laugh and cry, but mostly laugh. I mean, Sarah is a wonderful case in point. She's 100 years old, according to the story, when God finally comes and tells her she's going to have a baby, and she laughs. It's because it's hysterical. God's timing is so surprising and delightful and ironic and crazy. Now, God gets mad that she laughs, but she blows him off. And she goes on to name her son Isaac, which means laughter. So that she says, all who see me will laugh with me, God included. And all my descendants, more numerous than grains in the sand or stars in the sky, will know that laughter is at the heart of the Judeo-Christian faith journey. Or at least should be. Now the second thing that Doug Adams showed me is that these stories do not have to be taken literally. The ancients didn't. The ancients have easily believed that fantasy and history were valid and equally real and easily blended together to explain and explore things. I always like to say that the Bible is best experienced like we watch a good movie. My favorite film is It's a Wonderful Life. And I watch that film over and over again. And if you love the movie like I do, you know you learn something new about what life is all about and who you want to be. But you don't for a second ever need George Bailey to have ever actually existed, or the things that he goes through to have actually ever happened. No, the Bible is best experienced, I think, the bowl of popcorn nearby. So we put our, can we put it up there?
Sure.
I'll put our popcorn here. It's our symbol. Now the third thing that Dr. Adams showed me was that, or got me started on, was a journey of seeing how this book operates as a comedy. This whole book, one big classic comedy, even as Aristotle might say, you know, filled with low characters like shepherds and servants and peasants and slaves and women and second-borns and outsiders and fools, primarily. And then they all get those sort of scrapes where you think that they're going to almost be done in, and right at the moment you think they're going to be done in, they land on their feet, sometimes even in a better place than they were before. Even God in the Bible gets into scrapes and has to figure things out. If you do a careful reading of the Bible, God is not the immovable, omniscient, perfect, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain type deity that we're often led to believe. And this book ends, as classic comedy always does, with a big wedding. Check out the marriage feast at the end of the book of Revelation. That is the culmination of everything that has happened, the culmination of what began in Genesis with the 100-year-old dust bunny and her plenteous guffaws. Perhaps it makes no difference that the Bible is comedy. Or maybe it does. Humor has such power and in so many ways. And comedy teaches us that life is crazy and mixed up and makes no sense, and we probably shouldn't be here anymore, but we still are. And somehow we're still getting second chances. And knowing that should raise our spirits and helps us really want to do better next time. And wouldn't that be great if that's what the ancients really wanted us to know about this dance we're invited to do with a presence we can't see, smell, taste, touch, but sense is real and sense is here? Well, let's focus on the popcorn, imagine let's sidle up to it, and do some more exploring and see.